Buying your first home can feel like an insurmountable feat early on. Now, in fact, without proper guidance and planning, you could encounter roadblocks that'll extend your purchasing timeline much further than you'd originally anticipated. Organization is the key to getting toward that closing date on time. So refer to this checklist for an in-depth guide on everything you need to know about buying your first home. From mortgage terms to selecting a realtor, the First-Time Homebuyers Checklist is designed to help you stay on track with your real estate investment and prepare for tasks you've got coming up. Let's talk about establishing your budget. So, unlike other loans, real estate lenders will only finance you for what you can afford. So when it comes to buying your first house, your first step in the process should be determining what your budget will be. And now lenders will determine your eligibility for financing using your debt-to-income ratio, sometimes called the DTI. And there are 4 factors that impact this ratio. They include the credit scores of everyone applying for financing, your household's total monthly income, your household's total recurring monthly debts, and the projected closing costs. So when you start planning for your budget, look at your credit score and calculate your debt-to-income ratio. So to calculate your debt-to-income ratio, you divide your recurring monthly bills, and this excludes non-recurring items like groceries, by your total monthly household income. And it will look something like this. Bills divided by income multiplied by 100 equals your DTI ratio. Now lenders are looking for low debt-to-income ratios, and that's 50% or lower, with higher credit scores, 600 or higher. Supplying a healthy credit score and a low debt-to-income ratio will ensure lenders give you what you need to invest in the home you really want. So if your credit score and DTI ratio aren't optimal, consider spending some time, maybe a year or so, improving both before you decide to purchase a home. Finding a realtor. Now once you've established a budget, you're going to want to look for a realtor. Real estate professionals provide industry knowledge and experience to first-time home buyers. They make purchasing a home so much easier. And since this is your first time investing in real estate, you should very much consider working with a realtor. They help find properties within your budget. They handle paperwork at closing, and they guide you through the negotiation process. They are invaluable help. You'll want to pick a realtor based on experience and reputation. Now, most customers would find their realtors by referrals from family or friends, but online databases are also available to help you find preferred real estate professionals. Now let's talk about researching a mortgage. Now, as a first-time buyer, you'll be looking at selecting one of 4 mortgage options once you get to the financing part. And you'll most likely pick from a conventional mortgage, and this is a home buyer's loan option that is not secured by the government. Lent by private companies, these mortgages require as little as 3% down for first-time home buyers. You might also be looking at an FHA or Federal Housing Administration loan. Now this mortgage is insured by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and is distributed by FHA-approved lenders. They allow payments as low as 3.5% and flexible mortgage terms. Or you might be looking at a USDA, the Department of Agriculture loan. This is specifically for home buyers in rural areas and is secured by the federal government. Home buyers aren't required often to put down a down payment. Or you might be looking at a VA loan, Department of Veterans Affairs. This is a mortgage for current or veteran military service members. It's regulated by the Veterans Benefits Administration. And like USDA loans, VA loans don't always require a down payment. So in conjunction with the loan type, you have options when selecting your loan term. Specifically, you're offered the choice between 15-year and 30-year terms for your mortgage. Most home buyers opt for a 30-year fixed interest loan term. It's the most common. But your mortgage is an important financial decision that will affect your DTI ratio for many, many years. So do your research. Investigate programs that may help alleviate the burden of your mortgage. For example, make sure you're looking at all the first-time homebuyer programs that are available in your area. There's a lot of incentive to buying your first home. Many states offer buyer assistance that helps you with your real estate decisions. And investing through that kind of a program can help you financially and help keep you on track to get the house you really want. They're a great option to invest some time into researching. Next, get pre-approved before you start looking. Loan pre-approval gives you a concrete idea of how much you can afford when you buy your home. It also lets sellers know that you're able to back your offer once you place it, which gives your home offer more weight than it might otherwise. So pre-approval through your financer does require a credit check and is more significant than just pre-qualification. Overall, it's a great way to understand the financial end of things before you start shopping. All right, now comes the fun part, house hunting. Made possible by your mortgage pre-approval and expert budgeting, now the house hunting process is the highlight of your journey. This is where you and your realtor can really collaborate on your vision and find out exactly what you want. When you start house hunting, expect to look at more than just a few houses that aren't the right fit. Use each walkthrough as a chance to communicate with your realtor on what features you really like and note anything you don't like. While you're conducting a walkthrough, keep an eye out for key indicators as to the state of the home. Think about testing the home's plumbing and electricity by flipping light switches, switching on sinks. Look at gutters, the proximity of trees, chimneys if applicable, and ask whether radon, asbestos, lead paint, or carbon monoxide inspections have been conducted. And if they have, you should be able to request copies of the reports. Next, evaluate each home's amenities. Do you want a pool? Or is that too much work? Consider the neighbors, the neighborhood, the commute to your job, the schools in the area. Figure out if you want to invest in a fixer-upper and then estimate the costs that you'd have to pay for the updates in the home. The key here, though, is to communicate openly and honestly with your realtor. Now, once you've found a property that checks all the boxes, put in an offer. When determining what your offer should be, make sure to listen to the advice of your realtor. They'll be able to tell you what's reasonable. They can include any stipulations that you may want the sellers to review. In some markets, that might be more possible than others. Check out our blog article on buyers markets versus sellers markets. In your offer, you can include the following: your offered price that you're willing to buy the home for, any repairs that you'd like made before you purchase the home, any upgrades you'd like to be installed before the purchase. This will probably increase the sale price of the house. A contingency that makes your offer dependent on something like a successful home inspection. And then you wait for the seller's response. After you've submitted your offer, the seller can respond in one of three ways. They can accept the offer, they can completely reject it, or they can return with a counteroffer. Now, if the seller rejects your offer and responds with a counteroffer that's outside your comfort zone, remember, patience is key here. Don't get discouraged if you offer something and it's rejected. It's just another chance for you to find a house that fits exactly what you want. If the seller accepts your offer, congrats! You may have just purchased your first home. Now, after reaching an agreement with the seller, you'll move on to getting the home inspected and appraised. When you decide to get an inspection, home inspectors conduct an objective physical examination of the home and the structures within it. Most inspections cover the following: visible insulation, windows, doors, the roof, attic space, foundations, walls, ceilings, floors, electrical systems, interior plumbing, the HVAC system. A home inspection goes a long way in determining what kind of shape the home is in. However, home inspections typically don't determine the state of things like a septic system or air ducts or pests or invisible odors or irrigations. Next, once you've obtained an inspection, you'll have an appraiser come to the home and estimate the value of the home. And most appraisers consider a few things before issuing an appraisal: the home's condition, as determined by the inspection, the comparable sale of homes in the area, the total square footage of the home, any amenities like a swimming pool, and the home's general appearance and wear. Now, most lenders will require that the home be appraised before issuing your mortgage, so you'll likely have to get the home appraised anyway. However, if the home is appraised for a lower value than the purchase price, you might be able to make changes to your offer. So what can you do with your appraisal? If the appraiser determines that the value of the home is less than the sale price, you can do one of four things. You can renegotiate the purchase price with the seller, invest a larger down payment, and lower the amount of money you'll have to borrow, request a new appraisal, and this typically happens if the seller disagrees with the current one, or you can cancel the sale, especially if the inspection or the appraisal bring to light some undisclosed wear or tear on the home. Now, the home inspection and appraisal process ensures that both parties agree to the sale of the home in the condition it's currently in, and this is extremely important. It's also usually your last chance to back out of purchasing a home. And finally, once you've found your home and all the lights seem to work, you and your realtor will begin entering the closing process. Now, at this point, you'll oversee signing a lot of paperwork and taking control of the property. You'll also pay the closing costs to your lender. Of all the initials here and signed theirs, there are 4 documents that you'll need to make sure you read thoroughly and keep copies of for your records. Number 1 is the deed. This document spells out the legal transfer of ownership from seller to buyer. so keep a copy of this. You'll need it to prove home ownership down the line. The settlement statement. This includes all the final fees and charges you're expected to pay before taking control of the property. The promissory note. It's a legal contract with your lender that includes home terms, payment dates, and where your payments will be sent. A lot of this information should be contained in your lender's online payment portal too. And then the deed of trust. This is a lender-specific document in which you agree that a lien has been placed on your property and that you provided security of repayment on your home loan. Purchasing a house seems like an endless process when you first start out. And by the time you're signing your closing paperwork, you'll feel like you've conquered the unconquerable. Now, as a first-time buyer, the process should be educational and exciting. Make sure to always keep in contact with your realtor. Send any questions or comments their way as you progress. Additionally, refer to this checklist as you go to make sure you're on track to buying your dream house.